The defendant in this case was sentenced to more than 17 years in prison. He is part of a group of defendants that have been sentenced in connection to a meth trafficking ring that included Catawba and surrounding counties. 39-year-old James Christopher Cantley, formerly of Newton, was sentenced Tuesday to 210 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release for trafficking methamphetamine. In July of this year, Cantley pleaded guilty to drug trafficking conspiracy, possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine, and possession of a firearm in furtherance of drug trafficking. Cantley is one of 14 defendants indicted by a federal grand jury in June of 2020 for trafficking methamphetamine from Georgia into western North Carolina. According to filed court documents and court proceedings, from 2018 through April of 2019, the defendants were involved in a drug network that trafficked and distributed meth in Catawba, Lincoln, Caldwell, and Alexander counties and elsewhere. The other defendants from the greater Hickory metro area who have been sentenced are as follows. 42-year-old Brian Dwayne Martz of Catawba County was sentenced to 191 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release. 34-year-old Priscilla Chapman Lambert of Hickory was sentenced to 151 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release. 38-year-old Ruth Marie Duggar of Claremont was sentenced to 132 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release. 44-year-old Lowell Thomas Messer of Newton was sentenced to 120 months in prison, along with 5 years of supervised release. 26-year-old Samantha Jean Taylor of Newton was sentenced to 120 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release. 57-year-old Kimberly Deanne Bumgarner of Granite Falls was sentenced to 60 months in prison and 2 years of supervised release. And 36-year-old Cynthia Roxanne Shook of Conover was sentenced to 60 months in prison and 2 years of supervised release. The prosecutor is Assistant U.S. Attorney Christopher Hess of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Charlotte. Reporting from Catawba County, I'm Rob Eastwood, WHKY-TV News.